Hello my people! Today we're going to be turning ourselves into this robot Clockwork soldier. There's quite a bit of detail involved, as you can probably tell, so we better get to it. Today I am starting off with my hair in a bun because I'm going to be attaching things in front of and around it. Mainly these metallic shiny things I am showing you now. Also, ignore my skin, it is perpetually unhappy with me. As you have already seen today, I am turning myself into this, a Clockwork soldier from Dishonored 2. More on that later, as right now I am painting the bottom half of my face white. I would actually recommend doing this later, if not last, as the Global Colours white paint I was using started to flake. This isn't the paint's fault, more that I had thick layers to get the opacity I was after and was working on this for so long. Then I started outlining the design and I remembered I hadn't covered my eyebrows, so I wiped off the paint uber quick and covered them with a ratty ass glue stick. And I am blending the edges with water on my fingers and a tissue. Then I am outlining the design using the reference picture I showed you earlier and trying to keep the proportions correct with my face. Like the distance from the nose to my chin is the same as from the centre of the lens to the nose. I'm just doing the circles first, again following my reference picture. Here you see me doing something that I will do a lot in this tutorial, which is taking a photo of my face and using that photo as a guide to fix up the circles so that they look good while my eyes are closed. Now I am adding the gears behind the lens supports. There are two large ones on each side of my face. Again, I use my phone to check for straightness. There are also some connecting grey parts and a large centre gear that only shows at the top. It's pretty hard to explain what I am doing, just trust me. I sometimes use the length of my brush for a quick guide to draw something that will look straight from straight ahead. Sometimes even I don't know what I am painting, I am just copying what I see in the reference image. I believe these are steel supports to support the floating discs. And I am painting circular spiral springs at the end of the shaft lens thing. I am not a clockmaker and I don't know what those things are. And once we have everything down, I am filling in the rest with black, which takes so long that you may want to paint your upper face black first, wipe out the design, then layer on the lens, gear and circles. Then I am painting the edge of the lens grey, so all around that second gold circle. And once again I'm going to be checking with my phone to see that everything looks right with my eyes closed. And I am adjusting with grey and yellow. And then I'm going to be highlighting the edge of the silver lens casing and fixing the black negative space. Then I'm filling my ears and all around the edge of the ceramic face with black. As I said earlier, the white paint starts to crack, so I am just covering it all with a white cream paint and setting it with a generous amount of powder. And I'm going to be using these little brushes for the fine details and a shader brush. So basically, I'm going in with a black on an angle brush to add some shadows and outline some areas. Anywhere that is dark in the reference picture, I'm going to shade. And anywhere that is light, I'm going to highlight. You probably know this already if you have stayed until this far in the video, but shading is what makes a body paint, or any painting in art, look more real and detailed. At least in this body paint, I will normally put a shadow very close to a highlight for contrast, but I am following my picture more than this rule. Shadows are not always right next to the highlights, as you can see on some of the curved gears and the lens. So as this is a long section, with very little that I can tell you about, apart from shade and highlight, while we wait, let's discuss the ceramic Clockwork soldier. If you watch the first trailers for Dishonored 2, you see these beautiful buggers being all badass. Like they are running around, fighting Emily, and have like 4 arms which are swords, and they are just all around epic. So I see this, and I am so hyped. Then I look into it, and these models aren't even being used in the game. They are being replaced with wooden Clockwork soldiers that are more bird looking than this creepy ceramic human-like soldier. Much sadness, much disappointment. But the rest looks epic in all magnitudes, so this is just me whining. The game will probably be so cool that I won't even remember these guys. JK, I'll never forget. I am doing the lens now, so basically I am adding in blue and brown reflections that I could see in the reference image, making them curved as they would be deflected by the shape of the lens. I am also adding some white to give off the shine of the lens. And I am adding highlights to the spring and moving on to the shadows on the face. The big gold circle casts a shadow on the ceramic face. And the rest of these shadows I am adding are to imitate the shape of a smiling face, so you don't get cheek cramps walking around in this smiling everywhere. So just smile and imitate the shadows that you see. Nasal labial folds, dimples, those cheek lines, all that stuff. If you look like you just smelt something bad midway through this, then you're doing it right. Alternatively to painting this smiling face, you could always buy one of those uber cheap white masks from a discount store, cut off the top like here, then either sculpt on a smiling face with white clay or draw the smile onto that. That way you can eat and talk and not ruin the costume. I am also drawing on the fake smile over my natural lips here so that my bottom lip is the teeth. Completely optional, but I am following what I saw in the reference image. I end up moving this around a lot, as you will see soon, as I drew the bottom lip way too big to match my real bottom lip. I do add fake teeth to the fake smile, but I ended up blending them a lot, as it made me look a little too goofy. I am also adding white lines, as the ceramic cast in the image isn't perfectly curved. It was like it was cast in a carved mould, so it has these kind of plain surfaces. And here you can see me fixing up the lip, as I said I would before. Now we are finally moving on to the chest. I am first outlining the design with some light paint, and I use my brush as a ruler sometimes to make sure that it is even on both sides. Again, I'm just following my reference picture for all of this design. It seems like these soldiers have kind of a turtle-like ceramic shell, and they also have these kind of metallic ball joint arms that I'm pretty sure go into kick-ass swords. They also have clockwork inside their chests, so I'm painting the outline as to where I'm going to place this gear train. There are two big brass ones up top that mesh with some silver ones down the bottom. I am also adding some silver wire things and what else I could see inside the chest. Then I am going to be filling in all the ceramic parts with white. And I'm going to be filling in the middle arm bits with grey. I'm also filling in wherever you see some shaded ceramic with grey, so below the overhangs and behind some of the gears. Then I am filling in some of the larger bits of negative space with black. And the brown that I am adding here is kind of this inner ring that I could see in the reference picture. And I'm outlining some of these ceramic parts with what I can see in the picture again. Then using a smaller brush, I am filling in the rest of the negative space with black and outlining some features, like the gear teeth divide on the big brass gears and between some of the other gears. And then my battery died, so I have a headband ready to build on the headdress and have done half of my chest. So I'm adding some more shiny gilding to the ceramic edges, adding teeth to the brass gear, making sure that it semi-matches the other side. Then shading first with a brown and then an orange paint, and blending these with yellow on my brush. And then I'm going to be highlighting it with a light yellow. Then I'm going to be shading with some more brown and black eyeshadows. And I'm going to be detailing the end, which is kind of like the inside of this big brass gear. And now I'm just going to be shading my life away. And of course I got to add some highlights to make the metal all shiny. You can tell how fast I have sped this up by looking at my chest. It looks like I am hyperventilating. And I'm adding some more gear teeth and more shading. Finally adding those planes like we did to the ceramic face to the chest with white lines. I've got some black card that I painted silver and some coffee tinfoil seals to make the headdress. The soldiers have all these crazy bits of sheet metal hanging off their head, so we're going to recreate that. I cut the card into thin strips and rolled them up together, separated them, then pulled and twisted them to make interesting curls. Then the aluminium I cut into a spiral and also shaped by curling it and twisting. Then I pulled off my headband and adhered the pieces with a hot glue gun, alternating between the card and the foil. The foil wasn't very sharp to me, but I wouldn't run my finger along the edge of it. Also, the ends are pointy, so be careful around your eyes. You could just use the card if you want to make it safer. Make sure to pull off those pesky bits of hot glue gun string, and when the headdress is all done, then so are you. Go be a cool, if cancelled, Clockwork soldier. Thanks for watching. Sorry this was such a long one, and I will see you soon for more Halloweeny things. Stay classy, peeps.